Shalom Yasharala Yahawada, Brother Malak, back with a biblical lesson. I'm a man of many gifts and talents, but there's nothing like the gift of prophecy and prophesying. Let's get into slavery. And slavery is coming back in a major way, according to prophecy. You know, Yahweh told Prophet Ezekiel to eat the whole roll. Eat the whole roll. Eat the bitterness and eat the sweet. And when it comes to these scriptures, when it comes to these prophecies, everybody likes to linger or dwell with the sweet. Nobody likes to go into the bitter of the prophecies of the scriptures. But we're going to go with the bitterness of the scriptures because you have to eat the whole roll. So if you've been listening to the Israelites and the teachings, you already know that these nations, man, these Gentile nations, these nations through the power and the prophecy of Yahweh, they put the Israelites through captivities, through slaveries. And thus, with that being said, Yahweh is going to return the favor for what they have done and what they continue to do to the holy people, the holy nation. That's a bitter of the road. That's a bitter of the scripture. You know, slavery is coming back, man. It is coming back. It's biblical prophecy. It's biblical prophecy. Let's grab Revelations chapter 13, verse 10. You just can't touch the apple of his eye, which is the Israelites, which is you Latin tribes, you Negro tribes, you Indian tribes, which really consist of Negroes and Indians and Negroes, you Israelites. You know, you Gentile nations just can't put your hands on the apple of his eye and expect no consequences, no judgments. And my thing is, if I was born a heathen or a Gentile, I would be saying to myself, if this very God did this to his own people, what is he going to do to us? And we're not his people. And that's what I would be telling myself. I'll be trying to do everything in my power to appease Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And I say that all the time. Revelations 13:10, it says, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. What is captivity? Captivity is slavery, bondage. This is Revelations. This is the New Testament. Revelations 13:10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And who are the saints? The saints are the Israelites. So so slavery is coming back in a major way. You just can't have the children of Israel in slavery and not expect slavery to be set upon you. You know, God is a just God. Yahweh is a just. He's not a what do he say? He say he's not an imbalanced power, man. Imbalance is an abomination unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, roughly paraphrased. Imbalance is an abomination. He's a just God. He's a just power. It says so. If they did this to us, then they're going to get it as well. Joel chapter 3 says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations. This is called eschatology. eschatology. This is future prophecy. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. It says Jehoshaphat, but it's Yahweh-Shaphat in the Hebrew. It says, and I will plead with them there for my people. And the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, or Jehoshaphat, or Fat, is basically World War III, where Yahweh is going to bring all of these nations down. And he's going to plead for his people. And that's why I always say in these lessons that even everything revolves around the Israelites. Everything revolves around the Israelites. Even the very merit of World War III is going to be, or is going to have the involvement of the Israelites. World War III is going to happen because of the Israelites. He's going to bring all of these Gentile nations, all of these Edomites, Jebusites, Hamites, Ishmaelites, Moabites, Ammonites, all of the Gentile nations. He's going to bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And you know, I'll let Yahweh say it even better than I can say it. But I want to point, it says, I will also gather all nations. And I'm kind of digressing as well. I didn't want that point, but the Spirit brought it out, so I bring it out. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh-Shaphat, and will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, which consists of you Negroes, blacks, Haitians, Jamaicans, West Indians, Seminole Indians, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, indigenous, prototype, Latin, Central Americans, all of you Israelites. It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. It says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. It says, yeah, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Tyre, Zidon, and Palestine. These are the Africans, the ancient Hamitic nations, the Africans. So when you hear people say that Africans sold Africans, that's a lie. The Africans sold Israelites. It says, in all the coast of Palestine, it says, will you render me a recompense? It says, and if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? It says, because you have taken my silver and my gold. And who is his gold and his silver? It's you Israelites. It says, because you have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Greeks, the Grecians, that you may remove them far from their border. It says, behold, I will raise them up out of the place whether you have sold them, and will return your recompense. Here's the point. I will return the recompense upon your head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off. Of the Lord have spoken it. It says, proclaim ye this among the heathens, the Gentiles. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. It says, thither, because the mighty wants to come down, O Yahweh. It says, let the heathen be weakened and come up into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. World War III. This is why these nations are going to hate the whore, which is Babylon, which is America. This is prophecy. And it's going to happen because it's going to be the releasing of the Israelites. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get down ye, for the press is full, for the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. It says, multitudes in the valley of decision, the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, the valley of decision. It says, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So, that's just what's coming down the pike. That's just prophecy. But the point was made in verse 7. Slavery is coming back in a major way. That's the point of this lesson. Let's go with let's go with Deuteronomy 37. Deuteronomy 37. This is the bitter of the scriptures. You got to eat the whole roll, man. You got to eat the whole roll. You got to take the sweet with the bitter with the sweet. Can't take all the sweet and say, I'm an Israelite. I get the promises, I get the covenants, I get the services. We're the chosen people, and la da and nada, and can't take the bitter. Can't take being hated like how Yahushua was hated. Can't take going through struggles like how Yahushua and the apostles went through struggles, or just going through struggles in general. You can't not take the bitter as far as explaining the bitterness of the scriptures, as far as these nations going to go into captivity. As far as these nations have to